You know, imagine like 85 years old, putting the spoon into there, eating and chewing the Parmigiano Reggiano crust, and they start crying. People, they're touched by this kind of things. I remember once there was like a couple, there was like the gold wedding, or I think the diamond wedding, you know, they were very old. And they present themselves with a lunch at Osteria Francescana, and they were eating this compression of pasta and beans, you know, in which, you know, I put like the a royale of foie gras, pig skin, and beans at the bottom. And so that was like compression of my life, because those are the first steps of my gastronomic life. When, as the French, you know, they were teaching me this royale. You know how they are French. You know, they put a little bit of foie gras and they say royale. Okay, and finishing with air of rosemary. So remind Ferran Adrià, the avant-garde Spanish, because rosemary in pasta and beans, you know, it's kind of too aggressive. So I create this stratification of all the flavors to rebuild pasta and beans. In the middle, here, you know, there was, instead of pasta, I switched pasta with Parmigiano Reggiano crust, boiled into the beans, as my grandmother was telling me to do, you know, and then I sliced them, this crust, very thin, as it was pasta. But in the moment I was pouring some beans sauce on the top, you know, the pasta gets chewy, and is the most beautiful, you know, feeling in the palate. So the meaning of this plate was like compressing not just a pasta and beans, a rebuilt pasta and beans, but compressing between Ducasse and my first steps in gastronomy, and Ferran Adrià, my grandmother. So with the crust of Parmigiano, these guys, they were eating this dish. You know, imagine like 85 years old, putting the spoon into there, eating and chewing the Parmigiano Reggiano crust, and they start crying. Because, you know, the feeling of chewing the crust is the feeling of a kid that, you know, is chewing a crust of Parmigiano, because we grew up like that. So those are incredible emotions. To see this, transfer emotion with the food is the most beautiful thing ever.